Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Megan seems like the type of person that will just come to somebody just to piss them off with her mere presence. And she gets there, and she's talking to Kate and Roman, and both of them just like, "What are you doing here? Why are you here for? Oh, this used to be such a great place, fish marketing. Now, you're used to be a cop and now you're one that's not there calling them, how the money has fallen." And I'm just like, okay, why are you here? Like, what do you want? And she wants to sit there and see how Bo's doing. And, Rome's like, listen, I don't want you going anywhere near my brother. You're twisted. You are psychotic. You are obsessive. I want you nowhere with my brother. Like, in all reality, you are the reason why we are at this point where my brother's at. So, like, I'm not letting you near my brother. And she's like, all right, fine. I'll wait till he's close to coming out of his coma, then I'll be there. And then that was it. It was almost like she just showed up there just to piss them off, which, I could have took her left that scene. What I'm really waiting for, okay, is when she meets EJ. Because towards the end, when she walked, there was something that was so iconic about her just walking in those doors. And it was just like, the queen is home. The queen is back. And it was such a great scene. And they are going to be, I'll tell you right now, EJ is going to be livid. He's going to be pissed. And I can't wait for that. I don't know how Stephanie's going to sit there and react. I don't know about Tony's going to sit there and react. I'm very curious about the Stefan part. Hell, maybe even the Gabby part. EJ, that's gonna be a show in itself. Um, Dimitri wants to sit there and get to know his uncle Chad after he came to the room, and he's like, "Yo, listen, we're family. Kristen's out, Megan's out. We're gonna be one big happy family." Then he says something about, so just give me some pro tips on how I can sit there and be accepted into the family bosom. And Chad was like, no, 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 that's we're not like that. And honestly, tell you the truth, that word is just kind of creepy, just to be honest. But he's like, I want nothing to do with you. I don't care if we're family or not. Like, I don't care if we share blood. Like, I can't stand you, and I want you back in jail. And to be honest, I don't know. Maybe it's just the scene just went on too long. It's like, why are you so why are you so wants to get to chat wants to get to know Chad so much? I'm gonna be honest. The minute he tries that BS with EJ, Chad was Chad was nice. If you thought Chad was like standoffish and kind of just like F you, EJ is another level of just being a dick. So I am looking forward to those scenes. Um so Chloe, I mean not Chloe, Kristen comes to Marlene's place, and Marlene is like, "What are you doing? Like, do you want me to call the cops? Coming back to jail?" But after Kristen, after Marlene looks at the papers and everything like that, like, all right, well, I guess you're out. What are you doing? They go back and forth a little bit, and Kristen's pretty much like, "Yo, listen, I'm here now, so you don't have to be a maternal figure in my daughter's life. I'm good. She's gonna be good now, so your job is pretty much done." Brady comes in. Now, this is where we get to the point of just disrespecting Marlena in her own house. They go back and forth, the usual BS, right? Brady's like, "Oh, I told you to write a letter," and yada yada yada. But it didn't work, and just the whole back and forth cussy thing with Rachel. Meanwhile, Marlena's like, "All right, yo, can y'all just kind of chill out? Can y'all just stop?" She said like 3 or 4 times, and he just totally ignored her, like she just wasn't there. And I'm like, y'all really just gonna sit there and disrespect this chick in her own house? Like, I mean, I know that they're, whenever they're together, it's like, Dynamite or whatever. But I'm like, and, you know, granted, I get it that Kristen don't give a damn, but you would honestly think that Brady would be like, you know what, listen, I'm not gonna sit there and do this in her house. But no. So they went back and forth the usual crap, and then towards the end, they're like, all right, well, I guess I'll see you in court. Now, a couple of things that Brady did sit there and say was that, you know, I would look like a monster and that they're trying to keep her away from Rachel. And Rachel wouldn't want that. Rachel would, you know, like she said, Rachel would sit there and hate her. On top of that, this is the last thing that you want. This is why I didn't understand why he tried to go for full custody the first time. I'm like, you do realize that she's the mayor, right? She has money. She has influence. You barely won that the first time, right? I mean, it was so bad that you got your sister to sit there and try to represent you, and yet you still damn nearly lost. And Kristen isn't even a lawyer. You honestly think you want to try to do that again? I don't see that working out for him. I really don't. So he really needs to sit there and play ball because he'll just be stupid any other way. Well, he would. Now I don't really understand what's going on with Chloe. How she wants to sit there and keep trying to leave to go back to where? I guess she's just gonna go to her parents' house because that's the only place I could see her going. Which I don't. What I don't understand is why can't she just not go back to working at her old job? I mean, she didn't sit there and say that the position was filled, so why can't she just not go back to working at Basic Black? I'm pretty sure she got the hookup from Nicole. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense. If she's feeling guilty that she, you know, is not really paying her way, and you know, she hasn't found a job yet. She's like, all right, I guess I'm gonna go. It's like, you're fine. He told you that you're good until you can sit there and find a job. Like, has he been sitting there hounding you? Be like, hey, so you know, rent is coming up, a little kind of tight for cash. You might want to. Did you find a job yet? No. So I don't understand why is she so much in a rush. And then there's something that just kind of bothers me. So she talks about how, you know, it's a lot harder to find a job. And she's like, well, it's not that they're saying that there's no jobs out there like flipping burgers or restaurants or, you know, retail or whatever. But it's not really a lot of jobs for like opera singers. And I'm just like, you ever heard of the phrase, beggars can't be choosing? How many times I've seen people that have degrees, that have been teachers, working in retail. So part of me was just like, boo, spare me the pity party. Okay, because there's a lot of people out there that don't have jobs. Anyway, long story short, she decides to give it another chance, and also she's going to be working for Xander. She went back and forth about, oh, I don't know if I'm qualified to. Oh, Chloe, you. Damn, girl, you are just all sorts of extra and whiny and just like nothing can please this girl. It seems like I just it makes me wonder about the men that have to sit there and deal with this chick. Is just beyond me. I'm starting to really fully get the grasp of why there's people that do not like Chloe. Ugh. Anyway, she runs. You know, she's in the town square. And you know, she was also having you know reservations about working with Gwen, but just shut up and take the damn job. Of course, they ran into Kristen, and Kristen did her usual Kristen spiel, I guess, and so you know that put a frown on her face. Um, Harrison came there to warn Sean, who was acting like a dick. That Megan, Dimitri, and Kristen is back in town. Want to talk to Hope. But of course, you know, Hope and Bo aren't really on the show. For right now, who knows when the hell that's going to get resolved, if it ever does get resolved. Also, where the hell did he actually get shot? Yeah, I've been asking this question for a little bit. Did this dude get shot in the head? Did he get shot in the neck? Did they know what they were doing when they did this scene? Because there's a point where they start wrapping bandages around his head and around his neck. So I'm just like, did he get shot in the head though? Like, I don't really understand that. Anyway, um, he also said he's going back to Salem. You know, to keep an eye on Megan. You know, while Sean and the family moves Bo to a secure location, which is never really secure when you're dealing with a Demera, but in their heads, it's safe wherever they're going to be going. But you know, Sean was like, "Why are you moving back to Salem?" He was like, "I grew up there." Now he's been on the show before. He's been on the show before. This isn't. I don't. This isn't a new character. He's been on the show before. So pretty much at this point, he's just gone back home, which is great. I think as long as they write something good for him, I'm excited. And Steve, I'm always happy to sit there and see him. You know, since we're not going to be seeing him on GH like anytime soon. Um, which I still don't think they should recast on you know, as far as Jason is concerned. I'm still not for that idea. But it's kind of cool to sit there and, as long as they give him something to do. I'm not gonna lie. I do think that as far as the Damaris and stuff like that is concerned, it's going to be great. It's going to be the bee's knees, and I'm here for it. I am totally here for it. I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't really think of anything else that wound up happening. This episode was kind of so. Yesterday was also. I don't remember if I actually did a review yesterday. I feel like sometimes with days, it's like you have to really pick the episodes. I mean, listen, if I was doing this full time, I'll just be doing four of them, yada yada yada. But sometimes, like even on Bold, it's like, ugh, this episode could have been better. I think for the most part, you know, the episodes are never terrible on days. Sometimes they're just kind of like mediocre. Sometimes they just feel like more of a filler. You know, Megan being back and everything like that is really cool, and Dimitri and stuff. Um, but I was still sit there and say this episode was kind of so. Wasn't super great, but it wasn't terrible either. So, yeah. Anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.